Hey everybody, I'm back. This is part 2 of my Heroes Con haul. This will be all signatures, and these are basically, these are the artists that were on my must-see list. These are the ones I tried to go to first. A lot of great artists, like I said in the previous video. Little list here, man. There was Art Adams, Stephanie Bashima, Cliff Chang, Tony Harris, Ron Garney, Terry Moore, Trad Moore, Saad Ribic, Tim Sale, a lot of people. I did take a Hulk Gray #1 for Mr. Tim Sale to sign. Fortunately, he's one of those artists, he was only signing at the last hour of the day, and about 20 to 5 his line was already 30 people long, so I unfortunately didn't have time to wait in that line. It would have taken the last hour of the day, and there were still 3 or 4 people I wanted to get signatures from. I'm sure I can catch him at another con. Scotty Young, I never saw him. I went by his table a couple of times. He wasn't there, but there was still a line waiting for him. So I figured he'd be very popular anyway. So I just kind of skipped over that. Mark Wade was there. I already have some books signed by Mark Wade from a few years ago, so he wasn't high on the priority list. I did see him standing in line for Francavilla. Mark Wade cut in. A couple of people were, started to go like, "Oh, who's that?" Until he turned around, and I'm like, "Hey, man, that's Mark Wade." I had to tell my girlfriend he cut right in front of her. He just cut through to hand something to Francavilla, but she was giving him a dirty look, and I'm like, "Look, that's Mark Wade. It's another writer. He can do that." He wasn't getting in line to get a signature or anything. He was just he was giving something to Francavilla, and they talked for about 2 seconds, and then he left. That was pretty cool. Jim Starlin. I took a Dreadstar #1, a Cosmic Odyssey #1 from DC, and another book. I can't remember which one, but I took those. Unfortunately, he wasn't at his table very often. He was going to panels and doing other things. So I didn't get to meet Jim Starlin. Oh Lord, Kevin Eastman. Kevin Eastman he wasn't there when the con opened. He didn't get there till about noon. There was a line. He had an artist alley from the entrance of the con. You could look straight forward and see artist alley, and it's split. His table was right there, straight from the door. All the people with 3-day passes got in first. Got in like 20 minutes before everybody. At 10 o'clock, when they started letting everybody else in, went down the escalator into the convention center, and there's a line from the middle, and they're standing not really in front of a table because they're like here, and the table's over here. But it's backed all the way up to the entrance. That was the line for Kevin Eastman already. When he finally showed up about noon, it had already doubled, and it was like that all day long. Chris, Ferengi 102, and I met up with him at the end of the day one last time, as he had to leave, get back to his family, and me and my girlfriend were leaving. We unfortunately only had enough money for one day, and then we went to a free campsite up in the mountains for that evening and the next day. To do some camping and fishing. But he said that there were people waiting in line for Kevin Eastman for 5 hours, still didn't get a signature. So I'm kind of glad I didn't go stand in that line. I would have wasted a whole day. I took several books for Kevin Eastman. Unfortunately, I guess being the icon that he is, just a little too busy. He left before the end of the day too, so I don't know exactly how long he was there. Dennis Kitchen was there. It's really cool. He had a long line too, but at the end of the day, it was kind of short. But I mean, it was like 5 minutes till close, so I didn't end up getting anything signed by Dennis Kitchen. There were a couple other people. It was the same way. Walked around, Would have been neat to get a signature, but they weren't high on my priority list, so I didn't. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. These are the books. These were the guys guys and gals. These are all guys, unfortunately. Oh, one lady there, Miss Ramona Fredon. I have an issue of Super Friends I picked up a few months ago. It's one of the only few issues I've ever found at the flea market or anything like that. I left it here by accident. Oh man, I wanted to get one of her little sketches. They were only about this big, not a head sketch of different characters. They were $20. I would have gladly paid $20. Her artwork is, to me, her artwork's incredible. It still has that old school. She's been in the business for a while. Anybody who knows her name, you know, she's been around. I think as Howler Mouse pointed out, and I think Comic Hoarder 410 has also mentioned her in a video before. She's one of the first women to break into comics from the artistic standpoint of drawing and actually being a creator. Really, really nice lady to talk to, and did get her website, so I'm sure I'll be going on there at some point and getting some Miss Fredon artwork. I had to apologize to her. We were in such a hurry leaving out that Friday night that I totally forgot the book for her to sign. I was kind of embarrassed, but she was really nice, really cool. But anyway, I did meet up with. It took a little bit to find his table. That's the one thing, that the numbering of the tables, they weren't on display. You know, if you were looking for table 619, there wasn't a thing saying, "Hey, this is table 619." They're little bitty pieces of paper taped to the corners of the table, so you would literally had to walk by the table and be looking down, and you know. And unfortunately, I did not know what Mr. Sienkiewicz looked like. I've never seen a photo of him. But it also turns out he wasn't at his table most of the times when I went by it without knowing it was his. But it was later Saturday. Finally found him, and he was a really nice guy, really, really cool. I know if you watch Howler Mouse's video from where he went on Friday, apparently he had a good long conversation with Mr. Sienkiewicz, which would have been really nice. But I mean, he was cool. We talked for a few minutes. I told him, you know, I've been loving his artwork since I was a kid and saw it on Marvel Comics Presents and things like that. So he was gracious enough, and I was lucky enough to get, I got 3 books signed. I took 5, but I don't like overloading the artist, so I narrowed it down to these 3. New Mutants number 25, which he signed in this neat red. And New Mutants 26, which unfortunately he also signed in the same red on this orange background, but you still pick it up. That's the first appearances of Legion, cameo and his first full appearance. And these are also just some really, really great Sienkiewicz covers. And the main one that I took for Mr. Sienkiewicz was, and I may have devalued this book, but I don't care. I know a lot of people don't like buying signed books if they're not CGC'd. I'm picking these up for my entertainment, for my collection, so I really don't care if it devalues the book. But my near mint copy of Transformers number 1, was lucky enough to get him to sign it right across Optimus Prime's legs. And that's one of my favorite covers by Sienkiewicz. Although you know, he's got so many great covers. And his artwork is just amazing. Very gritty, very dark, and perfect for horror books and things like that. But when he does superhero stuff, it's really great because it's such a different take. Like I said, he was really nice, and I was glad to get those signed. One of the coolest people I met there that day was Jeff Darrow. Very, very cool guy. We sat there and talked a lot about the difference between the weather and in North Carolina and the South, you know, and He lives in Chicago, I believe is where he said. And you know, the difference between us getting a few inches of snow and everything locking up, and them getting like 7 feet of snow and still having to go to work and school. He was really cool, really modest. I got him to sign Shaolin Cowboy #1 right here, and #2, which he did that one in silver, and then issue #2 in a red pen. Just really cool. And even he admitted not much story here, but like I and a couple other people around there said, you know, with the art that's that detailed, we can overlook the lack of story. He had some great prints out as well. Talked to him a little bit about some Godzilla stuff, which was really cool. And he's a really nice guy. Hopefully I can meet up with him at another con and get some more stuff signed and have another little conversation with him. Next is Francesco Francavilla. I took the first 3 issues of Afterlife with Archie. #1 and 2 I took the second prints because I kind of like those covers better. Didn't really talk with him that long. He was only signing books at 10 minutes to the hour. So it was 10 to 12, and I went to his table. Line wasn't too long. Only waited a couple minutes, but there were 2 people in front of me at the point where I noticed. I think I was like 4th or 5th in line overall, but when I noticed this one guy, he had a stack of freaking books this thick, and I even made the comment. I mean, kind of under my breath. He couldn't hear it, and the guy directly in front of me could, and I didn't know that was his buddy. I really don't care. But I made the comment about, you know, this guy's only signing books for 10 minutes, and he's going to bring up a whole damn box full of books and stand there, and I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous. And I said, the next thing you know, you're going to, you know, in an hour, they're going to be up on eBay, and he's going to be trying to sell them for, you know, $50 a piece or some shit. It just, to me, that was ridiculous. I got no problem with somebody getting a few books signed. You know, I got 3, but I think when you get over 5, it's pretty apparent. You're a lot of the people that get more than 5 books signed, I'm sorry if any of you do that. I'm sure a number of us will go and get 5, 10 books signed just for ourselves, but a lot of those people, they're trying to get books and turn around and flip them, and I don't have such a big problem with that. But when you got a guy who's only signing books for 10 minutes every hour, oh man, you need to, if you want to get 30 books signed from him, you need to come up to him and get 3 or 4 books signed, and then come back an hour later and get a few more books signed. Don't sit there and tie up the line when you're getting 50 books signed at once. Sorry for the rant. That kind of got to me. I'm glad his buddy heard what I said. I'm hoping he went and said something to him. But I got 3 books signed anyway, and he does a little short signature, not like the regular signature that he does. A lot of artists do that just to make it quick. But he's a really nice guy to talk to for about 2 minutes. I told him I really loved the artwork, as a lot of people do. That's issue 2, and here's issue 3 down here. Very reminiscent of EC Comics, their EC Horror Comics, and he said, yeah, that's what he was going for. And I'm like, well, it's perfect for this book. And he was really nice. So next, like I mentioned before, met Joseph Michael Linsner. Really, really nice. Between me and my girlfriend, he signed like 10 books. I think she got 7 different Damsels covers signed. I had a hard time narrowing down what I wanted to get signed, but I decided to go with 2 Dawn books and 1 non-Dawn book. So I got Dawn #1. This is her first mini-series, Lucifer's Halo. I got it signed there, as you can see. And that was just freaking cool. He was great to talk to. Also got Crypt of Dawn #1 signed here. Just love his artwork. Love this character. One of my favorite of all time. And kind of you know, little out of the box. So back in, I don't know, 2000 maybe, somewhere around there. He did a couple of issues. I think it was only 2 or 3. It may have been a one-shot, but I only picked up the first issue of Killraven he did for Marvel Knights. I just love this cover, and it's a very interesting character. So I got him to sign that as well, and that was very cool. These last 2 artists, I got, it's the only book I own by this artist currently. His stuff is hard to find, low print run, indie press. And then I got 3 books signed by the last artist. Like I said, these were all artists that I really wanted to meet. These last 2 were, I mean, Linsner, Francavilla, Wrightson, and Jeremy Bastian. That was like my top 5. So I did take my copy of Cursed Pirate Girl #1. And again, being a raw signature, I may have just devalued a $150 book, but I don't care. I got Mr. Bastian to sign it. And if the way he does his signature is an indication of his art, it's no wonder it's so detailed. He did not sign like that, like most anybody signs. When he signed it, he grabbed the pen and he goes very kind of slowly and intentional, and you can make out most of his name, which is really cool. But I mean, if he takes that long to do his signature, I wonder it took a while for this 3-issue miniseries to come out. But like I said when I showed the prints in the other video, he was really fun to talk to, really cool, and just his artwork is amazing. And I told him that I think it reminds me a lot of Wrightson's current stuff on Frankenstein Alive, and he was like, yeah, when I saw that book come out, I was like, man, I got to step up my game. I was like, I think you're doing a pretty good job, man. It's he's become one of my favorite artists. So if you ever get a chance, check this out in trade or something. The single issues are through the roof, low print run. They're all hand stamped. He said he did the stamping on some, and his original publisher actually hand stamped the title and the price and all that. It's really cool. And this last gentleman, this was just one of my favorite artists of all time, and I think that goes for a lot of people. Bernie Wrightson. I was blown away at the fact I came up to his table. This is freaking Bernie Wrightson, and there's nobody around his table. And I mean, I expected to have at least a small line. I expected to have to wait a few minutes to get something signed by Bernie Wrightson, but there was nobody around. As I walked up, another gentleman walked up and was looking at sketches and things and his original art. I think he ended up picking up a piece of original art. This is a guy I had seen at another table, and he had a wad of cash like that, and it was like all $100 bills. I thought to myself, anywhere else it'd be dangerous to flash that much money, but yeah, he was really cool. It was really cool to talk to. Talked to him about 10 or 15 minutes about Frankenstein and different things like that, and he said, yeah, sorry, the books have taken a while to come out. And I'm like, I think most people would agree that for the level of detail, if you're a fan of Wrightson, it's definitely worth the wait. Frankenstein Alive. I went through my stuff. I didn't have as many Bernie Wrightson books as I thought I did, but I picked out 3. One, because I think it's unusual. I think it's probably a book most people don't get him to sign, but it's my copy of Kong the Untamed from DC. This is from the 70s. I've always liked that cover. I got this book from someone when I was a kid. Had it for 25 years, and it was really sweet to get him to sign that. And I have issues 2 and 3 of Frankenstein Alive, so I took both of those because this book is incredible. Number 2, which is the incentive cover with the black and white sketch cover there. He got it in the sign, he did it in the gold ink. And the regular cover to issue number 3, which is also fantastic. I love these picture frame kind of covers with the silver ink around, and it's got the main character there. It's kind of simple, but if you look close at his artwork, it's just amazing. And he signed both of those. Like I said, he was an incredible guy to meet. Really nice, really down to earth. Most of these guys are real nice. They're real humble to be famous in our circles anyway. They don't act like celebrities, a lot of them, which is really good. They realize they're comic book artists, and it's like Jeff Darrow said, you know, they're there for us. He said he didn't mind signing just about anything because you know, without us he wouldn't be working. And I think that's the right attitude, and I like that. Bernie Wrightson seemed to have that. All the guys I met were like that. They seemed to really appreciate the fans. Didn't mind signing books. Nobody was charging. Like I said, a lot of people were taking donations, which was very cool. I donated a few dollars, not a whole lot, but I tried to donate a little bit. It goes to a really good cause. So yeah, that was the rest of my signature haul from Heroes Convention in Charlotte, North Carolina. I went on June 21st, so that was last weekend. And then we left there that evening. I was there until, it was actually about 6:30. It closed at 6, so I was there a few minutes. They were trying to rush everybody out too. But we left, and then started on the way back home. Took about 2.5, 3 hours to get back to Georgia, and it was getting late, so we stopped at there's a place in the National Forest up there that I like to go camping. It's free camping. We stopped there and went fishing the next day and caught a few trout, not a whole lot, but had fun. So once again, it was a weekend of comics and camping, and came back and went to work. So I'm gonna try to make it to a few more of these small cons that are around the local area, or the South Carolina, North Carolina. It's not too far to drive. Nothing real major though. So hopefully be able to do that a couple more times this year. But anyway, I thank everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed me rambling on about signatures and comics. I certainly appreciate it. And then I'll have a couple more videos. I got some videos in backlog I really need to go ahead and get uploaded. Go ahead and get them up. So I'll be taking care of that. And that's it. So you guys, everybody take care. Thanks for watching. And until next time, keep reading them books. Later.